Okay, Tracy, future skills. What are you seeing from a skills perspective, from a payroll point of view, where we're at now, where we need to go, how payroll staff, how employers might need to change with where we're going as a global economy?
Yeah, I think that it's really influenced by what we talked about earlier, which was the jobs will change. So jobs will change. Some people are worried about losing their jobs, but we shouldn't be worried about losing our jobs. But your jobs will change, and I think that means you're going to need different skills if you work in payroll. So, years ago when I first started in the workforce, things like typing speed was important.
Yes.
Data entry speed. What was your data entry speed? Those things will become less important, and it'll be more around what data analytics are you across. Have you got? One of the things that we look at a lot when we help recruit payroll managers for our clients is what advisory capacity do they have? Can they sit with a CFO and based on their experience and their payroll, can they form an advisory to either HR or to finance? What are their customer service skills like? How can you break down a complex piece of legislation around superannuation to someone on the factory floor where English is a second language?
Yes.
These are the sorts of things that are important from a payroll point of view, not necessarily just how fast you are extending timesheets and keying the data. What do you know? What is your knowledge around compliance? How do you keep up to date? What support mechanisms do you have personally that will help make sure that you keep the directors of the business out of harm's way in terms of their liabilities? These are the things that payroll professionals need to be thinking of.
Yes.
Not my least favourite question when employing people. Do you have insert payroll system name here experience?
Yeah.
Who cares?
That's it.
That's
got to
just
understand
not
the function.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. So if I'm in payroll and I'm concerned about my skills, what can I do, or what can my employer do to help move the bar?
Yeah, it's really, there are a handful of things, and they're both knowledge and sort of some soft skills. And I think if there was one thing that you could do, I would say make it, there's probably 10 things, but if you were to choose one, maybe make it presentation skills. So learn to present information. And you don't have to start with saying, hey, CFO or CEO, I want to come and present to you a view of payroll that you might not have thought of. Start with your own team. Like as a payroll manager, get your team together once a week and say, hey, I've spent half an hour or 20 minutes analysing last week's payroll. Here's some things I've found. Here's some KPIs that I think we should be reporting on, and then report on them and present it back to your team. Get used to doing that. Get used to presenting data and ideas, and then maybe have a conversation with an HR business partner. Practice on them, and then then you'll get the confidence to be able to go to the head of HR or the head of finance or the CFO or present a one-page snapshot for the monthly payroll for the board report.
Yeah.
You don't need to go straight there, but just practice among yourselves to start with. Take it home, tell your dog. Just get used to looking at data, analysing it, seeing what the data is telling you, and being able to present those.
I think that's a really practical advice. So what you're really saying is that you don't have to wait for the employer to skill you. You can actually just start with something really simple and move from there.
Yep.
And I think that's priceless advice. And I think there's a lot of people in the industry that can all heed from that sort of very practical advice.
And once you do that once, then you get the next thing and learn that. That's what makes really valuable payroll managers.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Tracy.
Always a pleasure, Jarrod.
Thank you for this SmartTALK series.
No trouble at all.
Cheers.